Okay, hello and welcome everyone to our Monday night Natural Solutions workshop. I'm just so excited to have all of you guys here. Thanks a lot for joining us. My name is Candace. I'm a ranch wife with a huge background in science, and I use natural solutions, natural supplements, and essential oils in my daily life and have for, well, almost a decade now. So a little bit, just a minute. All right, so here's a few things about how this workshop's going to go tonight. It's really helpful to have a pen and paper ready to take notes down. And you can write down any questions you may have throughout the workshop. And then at the end, we want you to get back with your wellness advocate and ask them those questions, and they'd be happy to answer that for you. We love to honor your time, so this workshop will be about an hour long. You'll want to stay to the end because there's going to be a giveaway. And it's a really helpful gift, so stick around so that you can be in the running for it. We'll be using the chat feature throughout this workshop. So let's warm up by clicking that chat button and let us know where you're from and what's the weather where you're at. We actually had a beautiful day here today in Nevada. So you guys can start putting that in the chat. Okay, Julie's here from Papillion. It's freezing cold in Elko. Yeah. Somebody says their video won't start. So I don't know what's going on there. Oklahoma City. Okay, Jules. Yeah, she's always having a beautiful day at the bay. Okay, I don't know if somebody can help out whoever was in there saying their video wasn't working or something. So, all right, can we move on to the next slide, Julie? And okay, so let's start out this workshop by asking, what would you like to address for your health? We would really love to know. As you can see on the graphic here, there are several different areas, health areas. And so if you can put a 1 in the chat for if you have digestive issues, a 2 for headaches, pain, inflammation, 3 for any kind of immunity issues, 4 for stress and anxiety, 5 for energy and stamina, 6 for sleep, and 7 for blood sugar. So it looks like we have a variety. We have some 2 and 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2. So I think we have everything here is pretty well something that people are dealing with this evening. So I think you'll really be excited at the many options you're going to have to take care of these root issues for your health. So let's talk about a little bit about our modern approach versus our natural approach. So we're going to look at 2 different approaches to health as we begin this workshop. But before we do, I wanted to share with you some studies. And the FDA has done these studies. The FDA estimates that 200,000 Americans are hospitalized every year because of overdoses and side effects of NSAIDs. NSAIDs are those non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, things that you know as Advil, ibuprofen, and aspirin. They are also the cause of thousands of deaths per year. I mean, this is really scary. And even Tylenol, which would be acetaminophen, is known to cause liver damage if used in excess. So if you would like the supporting study, let your wellness advocate know and they will share that study with you. Now, I'm sharing this information with you because it reflects on our modern approach to medicine. In the modern approach, we turn to pills and prescriptions as a primary solution to address physical problems and symptoms. So these can have dangerous side effects and even a risk of addiction. Now, because this approach often focuses on symptoms, the root causes can often get overlooked. In addition, we're looking at $6.5 trillion, that's trillion with a T, spent each year on global health care. But are we actually any healthier? That would be my question. So check out that natural approach. In that approach, we focus on the root causes, and we're going to use a plant-based approach because our body recognizes plant sources. So what actually creates disease in the body? There are actually three main factors that can cause disease in the body. One is nutrient deficiency. The second one would be inflammation. And the third one will be toxic overload. So we're going to go ahead and look at each one of those individually. So nutrient deficiencies, let's start here. So nutrition is actually the core of our immune function. And when our nutrition buckets in our body are filled, then we function optimally. We'll have energy, clarity of thinking, good mood, great sleep, and little to no inflammation. So according to the Environmental Working Group, who has done the chart that you can see there, 95% of US adults are deficient in vitamin D. 94% are deficient in vitamin E, and 61% are deficient in magnesium. So those are huge, huge numbers. So that means the nutrition buckets in our body are not full. And that means most of us don't have great baseline health. The results of nutrient deficiency varies by body, but I'll list a few for you. Things like inflammation, headaches, lack of sleep, foggy thinking, lack of energy, and digestive issues. And poor nutrition is the number one cause of poor health. Now, what are different types of inflammation? The biggest contributors to inflammation in our body are, well, the first one is sugar. It's in nearly everything we consume. If you look at labels at all when you're buying food products, you will see there is sugar in everything. Stress and lack of sleep, that really causes a lot of inflammation. Toxins in our environment and bad oils, things like vegetables and canola oils. Now, chronic inflammation is linked to diseases like autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, cardiovascular diseases, gastrointestinal disorders, again, headaches, metabolic diseases, lung diseases, mental illness, and joint pain. So a whole list there. Now let's shift to toxic load. Now, toxic load is the third area we're looking at, and as a source for disease, and it refers to the chemicals in our body that build up from our environment. Things like processed foods, pesticide use, and personal care products. The Product Safety Commission tested and found 150 cleaning chemicals that are linked to ADD, asthma, cancer, reproductive problems, respiratory problems, and more. So we can't always, control what we come into contact with outside the home, but we can really make a lot smarter choices for inside of our homes. So what do we do with all of this information? Well, I'm going to turn it over to Diane, and she is going to let us know what we can do.
Thanks, Candace. All right, so let's talk about what's in our supplements. I'm going to hit upon a lot of research here, and if you want any of the studies that we're talking about, make sure that you reach out to your wellness advocate and they'll get those to you. So we're just about ready to see our first health solution. However, we're going to take a quick look at the supplement industry. And let's go to the chat feature first. Who here uses a supplement? Think vitamin D, B, maybe you take a multivitamin, maybe you take an omega. Put what you take in the chat, and let's see what people have to say about that. Okay, we've got calcium, multivitamins, 1-a-days, hormone support, LLV, which I'm going to talk about in just a bit, our Mito 2. Okay. So we have a whole plethora of different supplements that people take, and I used to be just one of them too. So if you take any kind of supplement, we're going to give you a deeper dive into some of the things that are going on. Okay, so now let's take a quick peek. There was a study done by the FDA from 2007 to 2016. And in that study, they detected contaminants in 776 dietary supplements that are produced by 146 different companies. A second study had results showing that 3 leading memory supplements found that 2 of those didn't actually contain the active ingredient that they listed on the bottle. The supplement industry is not heavily regulated. They can contain lots of fillers and not much of the actual ingredient. So if you have some reservation or hesitation as to whether a product is working or not, you are not alone. And this information that I'm about to give you will support your concerns. As I mentioned, the supplement industry is not heavily regulated, and I'd like to share a story from a fellow wellness advocate whose son works in a health food store. He told his mother that if a supplement is on the shelf, that if a supplement on the shelf is tested and is found to be missing an active ingredient on the label, the store has 9 months to remove the product from the shelves. That's outrageous. However, because our standard American diet is deficient in most vitamins and nutrients, it's necessary to supplement to make sure our bodies get what they need to function properly at a baseline level. At the top of our list is lifelong vitality. So let's move to that as our major solution. doTERRA is known for its safe and effective oils, but did you know that the lifelong vitality is doTERRA's best-selling product? It's because it addresses all 3 areas that we just mentioned: nutrient deficiency, inflammation, and toxic overload. Think of this line right here as a necessary foundation to your health house. In addition, this line helps support the cleansing and filtering out of toxins. There are 3 different supplements in this line: a food nutrient, a cellular repair, and your omegas. This line is your micronutrients. The lifelong vitality fills the nutrient buckets that Candace mentioned that are missing in our body. They contain powerful antioxidants to help protect our DNA. They're made with whole food ingredients. They're 95% bioavailable for your body. The average supplement is only 20 to 30% bioavailable. This product has gotten more people off of their over-the-counter and prescription drugs than more than any other product doTERRA sells. And now I'd like to share a little bit about why I love lifelong vitality, and then I'm going to ask Candace to share because she's got a pretty powerful testimonial as well. Mine happened gradually over time, where I saw inflammation in my hands gone. I found that creaky knees were no longer an issue for me, and my energy and stamina are just optimal when I stick to my lifelong vitality, which I'm diligent about. And like I said, Candace has a really powerful testimonial of something she was dealing with.
Yeah, thanks, Diane. I'd like to share that with you guys. So I was having really severe head tension, the kind that, it actually would start here on the bridge of my nose and then move around behind my eyes. And it would just put me down. Like I would just be curled up on the bed or the couch, and I just really couldn't function. I couldn't do simple daily tasks. And I did get prescription medication that helped with that. I was able then to actually function. I could get through the day, but it came with a lot of side effects, things like that real bad brain fog and just kind of walking through the day, just kind of like a zombie. So I started, I didn't even actually know that doTERRA had supplements until about 5 or more years into my journey with doTERRA. And a friend told me about them. And so I started taking the LLV, and I take it consistently every day. And after a few months, it took me a while to realize, but after a few months, that head tension it wasn't as bad. Like I wasn't as getting as many episodes per month. And after a year, when I went back for my regular yearly checkup, it finally struck me that I was no longer having any of that head tension problem. I felt good. I had great energy, and I was able to not renew my prescription medication because I no longer needed it. So I am a firm believer in LLV. And like I said, I take it every day, and I will continue to take it every day.
I love that story. Thanks, Candace. All right, so now let's look at some clinical trials. These results are based on blood work that was taken before and after. And the subjects took the doTERRA Lifelong Vitality supplements for 2 months, and they continued with their normal diet and exercise. And they found statistically significant improvement with the following categories: blood lipids, fasting insulin, cardiovascular biomarkers like CBC, blood lipids, blood sugar, electrocardiogram, echocardiogram, things of that sort. It also they had a reduction in triglyceride levels in the blood and a reduction in cellular inflammation. They saw positive effects on biochemical indicators of cardiovascular health, antioxidants, inflammation, and blood glucose regulation. They saw overall improvement with mental clarity, energy, motivation, control, balance, and happiness. Personally, I consider lifelong vitality as part of my food budget. It's less than a cup of coffee at your favorite coffee place per day. And if you purchase it through our customer rewards program, you also get points you can use for other products for free. Now we're going to talk a little bit about gut health and healthy gut biome. And there's been a lot of chatter about this lately. So if you want to focus on gut health specifically, lifelong vitality paired with the PB Restore and Terrazyme is our highest recommendation. The gut plays a vital role in our overall health and well-being. Your gut is often called your second brain. It's vital in everything from our weight to our immune function to our mental wellness. And doTERRA's PB Restore Probiome Complex is our patented dual capsule delivery system. It's a unique formulation of 30 pre, pro, and postbiotics that help restore microbial diversity and balance for optimal microbe health. With this unique dual encapsulation delivery system, it protects the sensitive probiotic cultures from stomach acid, delivering it safely and effectively to your gut. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty fascinating. It's a dual capsule, and they've designed it so that it gets down where it needs to get down to in your gut, so it doesn't get eaten up by stomach acids in that first in the beginning of the path. It includes 18 billion colony forming units of probiotics or good bacteria. It consists of 24 active cultures, an unparalleled variety of carefully selected strains from 22 different species for exceptional microbial diversity. And that's what we want in our gut. It maintains healthy intestinal microflora balance within our gut, supports healthy digestive and immune system function. It supports our GI tract health, especially our intestines and our colon. It supports optimal metabolism and food absorption. In simple terms, when you have a healthy microbiome with good bacteria, bad bacteria has a harder time doing its dirty work. Terrazyme is another one that you're just going to want to pair with it. It's doTERRA's digestive enzyme, and it includes a variety of whole food enzymes that help with digestion. It can be taken with every meal. It supports healthy digestion and metabolism. It supports conversion of food nutrients to cellular energy, and it promotes gastrointestinal comfort and food tolerance. and it includes 10 active whole food enzymes. All right, so to dive deeper into this topic, I'm going to turn this over to Jules.
I love it. Thanks, Diane. This is my jam. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jules, and I have been practicing, teaching, coaching in the health and wellness industry, holistic health, for almost 40 years now. I started when I was in my 20s, and it's just been a real passion of mine because I know that if we treat our body right, it's brilliantly designed to heal, and that we can fill in the gaps and with supplementation and the things that we do, and we can just feel better in our bodies. So I love talking about all of this stuff. So let's look at this slide that's up right now, and we're going to warm up that chat feature again. I want all of you to jump into the chat, and I want you to answer that very first question that's up there on the slide. What percentage has diabetes cases increased in America since 1960? So in the last 63, almost 64 years, what percentage do you think the number of diabetes cases has increased? I saw a 250 pop up there. There's a 50%. Okay, this is going to blow your minds, I think. It sure did mine, because it is almost 700%. Almost 700% in the last 63 years. That is just not acceptable, if you ask me. It's just not acceptable. We have to do better. Yeah, blows your mind, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, so the second question up there, let's throw some guesses in the chat around that one. How long does it take the average American today to consume the same amount of sugar that our ancestors from 200 years ago would consume in a year? So how long does it take us to consume it, what they did, in a full year's time? We got a week, 2 days. It's not quite that bad, Tony, but it's close. Yeah, it's really close. So 10 days, it's 2 weeks, it's 14 days. And these aren't made up numbers. This is stuff that you can Google and find out. It's 14 days for us to consume the same amount of sugar that it took our ancestors a full year to do. Again, not acceptable. We can do better. We absolutely can do better. Okay, so the big blue numbers there, what do those mean? 6.8%. What that means is there was another study done, and they discovered in that study that only 6.8% of the US adult population has optimal cardiometabolic health. That means that 93% of us do not have optimal cardiometabolic health. And that simply means how we're aging on the inside of our body. Only 6.8% of us are optimized. And that brings us to one of my very, very, very favorite products, is this Metapower system. And this Metapower Metabolic System was specifically designed to tackle that poor metabolic health, because 93% of us are struggling with that. So this is the macronutrient line, and it pairs beautifully with Lifelong Vitality, which is a micronutrient line. Metapower does 3 things specifically. It addresses cellular repair that leads to aging, addresses blood sugar regulation, and supports the inhibiting of fat absorption into our cells. So let's talk about lifespan and health span. We can't do anything about our chronological age or how long we've actually been here on this planet, but we can do something about our metabolic age. And that, again, is how are the inside of our body, how it's actually aging. We can influence that in a really significant way. And we need to pay attention to that, because the average American will spend the last 14 years of our life in a state of declining health, and will have difficulty completing simple everyday tasks. But what if we could empower people to change that? And we can with this Metapower system, because this is what it was designed to do. It's the first and only system that synergistically supports a healthy metabolism. It helps curb cravings. It helps sustain normal range glycemic and insulin response evenly throughout the day. And it naturally promotes cellular energy. So energy at that very cellular level. Those of us who have used this, we have all reported improvements across the board in things like eyesight, energy, pain, neuropathy, sleep, skin, hair growth, mood, how our body moves, the mobility, the range of motion that we have, strength, because it actually helps us to maintain and build lean muscle mass. It's a crazy, crazy, crazy thing that we can influence this so easily. So let's look at this picture right here, this next slide. And I'm going to call your attention to the young woman that's on the top left. And she has been using, in this picture, she has been using Metapower for 4 months. She had pretty incredible results, as you can see, specifically with improvements in her face, her eyes, and her hair. And you can see it, it's visible. And then the gentleman just underneath her, he noticed that he had improved skin elasticity overall. And you can see that his hair actually came in darker. I actually have a customer who messaged me and said, oh my gosh, the lady who cut my hair told me that it's coming in darker. So this guy experienced the same thing. And then after he got his blood work taken 3 weeks after being consistently on this Metapower system. And what his blood work showed was actually a 40-point decrease in his cholesterol numbers, a 25-point decrease in his LDL, and a 57-point decrease in his triglycerides. That's pretty crazy. So if you look at the right side of our screen, you can see pictures here of a 58-year-old woman who had these red spots and bruises on her arms. Anytime she bumped herself, they would appear. And she went to the doctor, doctors biopsied everything. They checked her all out and they said, you know, there's nothing here. It's just what happens when you get older. But after using Metapower for just 3 months, the spots are totally gone. And you can see that as she's holding up her arm there. Spots are totally gone. And she's also seen other changes. She reports that she's had a weight loss of 60 pounds. She says her hair feels thicker, her nails are growing like crazy, and she's actually lowered her A1C as well. All from consistently using a system. Okay, this is one piece of that system, and I love this product so much. I told you that the system is one of my favorites. This is probably my favorite product of all. And this is Metapower Advantage. It's doTERRA's collagen product. And it has 9 different types of collagen in it. And over 70% of those is in a tripeptide form. So what that just means is it's a smaller form of that chain, that protein chain. And by being in a tripeptide form, it's going to absorb 12 times more than any other collagen. So you get way more bang for your buck. So I mentioned a peptide is just a protein chain. So when we break it into two smaller pieces, our body actually can break it down and use it to its full benefit. Those larger chains, we can only use so much of them, and then we just get rid of them. But when it's in the tripeptide form, it becomes 70% more absorbable. So it just really works well. So it comes in small packets and it's a freeze-dried collagen. And then you mix it in 4 to 6 ounces of water. So it's about that much. Like in this glass right here, it's about this much water. And you just mix it up in there and down the hatch. It actually promotes healthy biological aging and improves our health span by helping those cells at the cellular level. It actually activates our longevity genes. It improves cognitive function. Our brains work better. It supports lean muscle and connective tissue. It helps skin elasticity. It helps the firmness of it. It helps our hair, our nails. It just does a ton of stuff for us. And I love this product. We have a deep dive class on lifelong vitality and the Metapower line, the full line. So if you want to see that, we have it in a recording. So just mention it to whoever invited you here, and they can send you that recording to that deep dive class so you can learn even more about it. But it's my favorite product, my favorite line, hands down. Everyone, I think, needs this for a good foundation of your nutrition. And so I'm going to share my Metapower testimonial, and then I'm going to ask Julie to come in here and share a couple of stories that she has from friends and customers. Mine is, I've just had a really active life. My whole life, I've been a competitive athlete. I've been an competitive athlete since I was in the 7th grade. And that went all through high school, all through my collegiate years, and even beyond that. I've also had a really physical job in doing massage and rehab work. I've asked a lot of my body every single day, day in and day out. And as I've aged, I also ended up with an autoimmune challenge. And so what happens for me is that I just have way too much chronic inflammation in my body. So when I saw this was being launched, I was super excited about it because I'd been biohacking and taking collagens and other things for a long time anyway. And when I saw this was in tripeptide form, I thought this is going to be a game changer for me. And it absolutely was. Absolutely was. I've not missed a day since September 15th, 2022, when it was introduced. I picked up my kit from convention, I opened it, and I started taking it, and I've not missed a day. And my inflammation in my joints has improved exponentially. I still have some, I still have the autoimmune issues, and I still have some years of wear and tear issues, but it is just so much better. It makes my life navigatable because this has helped me so much. So I won't miss a day, will not go without it. It travels with me, goes everywhere with me. So I'm going to have Julie share a couple of her stories real quick, and she can tell you what she's experienced or what her clients have shared with her.
Hey, Jules, thank you. I'm Julie. I live in Papillion, Nebraska, and I've been a doTERRA user for just over 10 years. I was one of those non-believers, but it didn't take me long to realize that I did indeed need peppermint, oregano, frankincense, and all those other things. I've got 2 quick stories. One is a friend of mine from high school. We've been high school graduates for 40 years. We met our senior year. And when Advantage came out, she was talking to me about a diagnosis that she had gotten dealing with bone issues. You can guess what those are. And so I suggested that she try Advantage for all those reasons that Jules just elaborated to us. And so she started on that, and she also picked up running. So here's this 58-year-old woman who starts running and starts taking Advantage. And I'm not sure the time lapse between when she started taking it and when she returned to her doctor, but her doctor was blown away with her test results, and he could not comprehend the fact that she no longer had the bone issues that he had diagnosed her with. And so that's one success story. The second is a gal on my team in her 70s. She is the child care provider for her 2-year-old, well, he's probably 3 now, but 2-year-old grandson. And toting him up and down the stairs was just really doing a number on her lower back. So she'd been to her chiropractor. Her chiropractor used something called Deep Blue stick, and we'll learn a little bit about that later on in our call. But he had used that. She already had a doTERRA account, so she called me up and asked, what can I use to help support my back? I didn't know what her price point was, so I gave her about 5 different options, and she landed on using the Advantage. 10 days later, she texted me and said, I cannot get over how good I feel. And just a side note, her husband, also the same age, he's actually the one that got them into doTERRA because of lemon, lavender, and peppermint for seasonal threats that would interfere with him being able to mow the lawn. He'd have to go inside, blow his nose, take a break, and then go back out. And he happened to stop by my office just a week or so ago saying, thank you so much for introducing my wife and I to doTERRA. It has been a life changer for us. And so those are my 2 quick stories with a little add-on.
I love it. Thanks, Julie. Appreciate that. So I see that there's a question in the chat, and I'm not going to address that right now, but if you will reach out to whoever invited you here, and I see Bobby might be answering that for you too, but make sure that you get that answered, because there is a difference. This is a system. So there is a difference between the Advantage and the other Metapower products. So now I could go on and on and on about this, but we do have other things to talk about. So I'm going to turn this back over to Diane, and Diane is going to talk to us about what doTERRA is famous for. She's going to talk to us about the oils.
All right. Hello again. And I'm sorry, I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Diane Mattern, and I am a 30 plus year school teacher getting ready to retire, and have been a doTERRA advocate for about 8 years. And I love this company and I love these products. Let me tell you about a little bit more research that was done around doTERRA and their products. So this was done by Roseman University of Health Sciences. And in this study, the doTERRA oils were found to be therapeutically relevant in cell growth and rejuvenation, beneficial to our metabolic health, and also helped with providing us with a healthy inflammatory response. Essential oils from different competitors had minimal effects. And so they concluded that the therapeutic potential of essential oils is highly dependent on the complete composition of the oil. Through sourcing, processing, and characterization, we get critical results from that. You'll find 2 articles about Roseman University and the work they have done on essential oils in the resource file that your wellness advocate can share with you. So put a yes in the chat if you would like that resource, or just reach out to them personally. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about why doTERRA is different. When an oil is truly pure, they do not include fillers. There are no synthetic ingredients, and there's no dilution. Independent lab tests show that the majority of brands available to consumers are not pure. doTERRA, on the other hand, sources their oils from plants grown in their ideal environments. This makes all the difference for the chemical profile and the therapeutic effectiveness of those oils. Every single batch of doTERRA oil is tested for ideal chemistry and consistency so that our oils do what we expect them to do. Over 54 tests, 54 are done on each batch of doTERRA oils from the farmer to the consumer. Our doTERRA oils can be used topically, aromatically, and generally internally. Excuse me. People turn to doTERRA because they want safe, affordable, and effective solutions for their family's health. Let's look at what that means exactly. Many look for safe and effective solutions that don't have dangerous side effects or the risk of addiction. We just mentioned independent lab tests, sorry. And those lab tests show that 80 to 90% of oils on the market have contaminants and synthetic markers. We suggest never ingesting another brand. So doTERRA, many years ago, recognized that the essential oil industry didn't have a standard for purity that ensured safety. So they created a new standard, CPTG. This means certified pure tested grade. And they did this and they raised the bar throughout the essential oils industry. This standard is beyond organic, and it includes significant testing that is not cheap. doTERRA will invest to ensure that you have the most effective, safest product because that is best for you. Many doTERRA oils are safe to ingest. If it can be ingested, it will have a food grade label on the bottle. Again, if you have any other questions, make sure that you reach out to your wellness advocate so that they can clear things up for you. I'd like to draw your attention to the slide on the right, or the photo on the right in the slide. The girl with the burns on her chest. There were these 2 sisters, and they were spending the night at their grandma's house. And they were used to putting doTERRA lavender on their chest just before bed. It helped them to relax and to go to sleep. Well, grandma was out of that oil, and so she used a backup from another company. It was in her medicine cabinet, and she had bought it at a health food store and figured, well, it's just lavender, so it should work. The girls ended up with chemical burns and scars almost a year later. Now, I'm not saying this will be your reaction with other essential oils. However, it is important that you understand the risks. doTERRA essential oils are safe to use at any age, from newborn babies to great grandma. Brand matters for safety, and that's why we choose doTERRA. Now, let's talk about affordability and effectiveness. Believe it or not, affordability is one reason people turn to doTERRA. The oils are 50 to 70 times more potent than herbs. This means that a little bit goes a long way. Okay, I'm going to illustrate that for you. Using the chat feature, I want you to make a guess. There was a recent test of Costco peppermint oil that showed that it was not 100% peppermint oil. How much peppermint do you think was in the Costco peppermint oil bottle? Put that in the chat for us. 5%, 10%, 50%. About 6 drops. About 10%. Just 10%. So when you use doTERRA's CPTG oil, you get 100% oil, making it a much cheaper option than other oils that are diluted. And I'll give you some fun facts here. Let's talk affordability. Excuse me. Each 15 ml bottle has 250 drops of essential oil in it. And one dose is about 1 to 2 drops. So on average, it's about $1 or less for a treatment. Here's an essential oil tip, and we preach this all the time. When you're treating any kind of infectious disease or ailment, it's always better to use less more often. So use less oil more frequently throughout the day for better results. Using 8 drops of oil on a wound at one time will not be more effective than using 1 drop every 2 to 3 hours throughout the day. Again, use less more often. Now on to effectiveness. This is one of my favorite microbiology lessons. For our scientists in this workshop, we do know this is a very, very simplified lesson. So here we go. Our body's made up of cells, and each cell is surrounded by an oily membrane intended to protect it. It keeps the good in and the bad out. When you have a bacterial infection, see that little green blob on the screen? You can get an antibiotic to help you because the bacteria grows on the outside of the cell. However, viruses are different, and they proliferate on the inside of a cell. Essential oils, unlike most modern medicine, can penetrate the cell membrane and help stop the duplication of a virus and support your immune system to heal faster. When you have essential oils on hand, you can begin to support the healing of your body immediately instead of paying a copay and driving and waiting to see a doctor. I'm going to turn this over to, gosh, I forgot who I'm turning it over to. I think it's Candace. Is it Candace? Oh, it's Michael. I'm so sorry, Michael.
It's
All right.
all right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Walters. I am in Oklahoma City. I've been using doTERRA for a little over 2 years now, and it has been a wonderful journey. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the oils, and we're going to dive into a couple of them. So immune support. Here are some many oils that support our immune system, but they're just a few. I carry many of them in my keychain, and I take them wherever I go, so that way I have them handy. But I'm going to share a little bit about my favorite one. And honestly, it's hard to narrow it down to a favorite one, but one I really enjoy and use often for my immune support is tea tree. It's great for ear infections, stinky armpits, blemishes, acne, cold sore, but great for all things fungal of any kind of infection. You use them to prevent razor burn. I said good for cold sores, used for cuts and wounds. And it's amazing if you struggle with smelly armpits of how, even if you use deodorant, it's amazing. But one great testimony I have with tea tree is I have burned myself before, trying to cook. Who doesn't burn themselves in the kitchen? I mean, okay. But I stuck a cast iron skillet in the oven, put it on, didn't even think about it, grabbed my pot holders, pulled the pot out of the stove to sit it on there, and it burned through the pot holder in my hand. And I was new to doTERRA. I grabbed my book, flipped through it, saw that it said tea tree is good for burns as long as lavender as well is great for burns. And so I grabbed them out, put them on my hands along with a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, gently rubbed them. And it was amazing how the relief went away. You know, it was still kind of burning, but it didn't hurt like it normally would. It never blistered, it never scarred. It was amazing just a couple of days later, just how well it worked. And that was new to doTERRA. So that was kind of my wow moment with it. But tea tree is great for wounds and cuts. So it's a great one to have on you. Medicine cabinet. So imagine a medicine cabinet filled with safe and effective oils without addictive properties or side effects that you will have ready at a moment's notice to address life's little emergencies. But here are a few medicine cabinet basics. And I hold them in my keychain. To honor your time, I'm going to share just one experience. And that is peppermint. Peppermint increases energy in the afternoon when you need to wake up and focus. It oxygenizes your cells. It's great to diffuse when studying or working where you need to be alert. Use this when your sinuses are stuffed up and you need to open your airwaves. Wonderful relief for tension headaches. You can knock it out before it really sets in. Just a dab on the temples is all I do. When you eat something spicy or eat late at night, peppermint can help prevent acid reflux. When overheating on a summer day or kids have a fever, you'll be glad you have this oil to help cool you down. Can cool your body 1 degree. Also great for hot flashes for you ladies. If this is let's go back to the chat feature. Let's go in there and then take a wild guess. How many cups of peppermint tea would equal 1 drop of doTERRA oil? Just go in there and in the chat and guess how many drops. How many cups of peppermint tea equal 1 drop? 6. We got 15. Couple. 10. Okay. 1 drop is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So these oils are potent, and that's why a little bit goes a long ways. So just keep that in mind as you're using your essential oils, like Diane was saying. But one of my reasons why I love peppermint is actually one of my first oils I was ever introduced to. And I came to doTERRA because of digestive issues and bloating and just needed help with that area. And I was amazed how quickly just a drop of peppermint to my belly helped soothe my stomach and helped help my digestive issues that I was having. And because I was looking elsewhere. And so I was just how great that was for me. So peppermint is used for lots of things. Okay. Pain and inflammation. So we learned at the beginning of this workshop the impact how inflammation is a cause of disease, and doTERRA has safe, effective, and non-addictive tools, and the oils and products on the screen are some of the favorites to address pain and inflammation. So Deep Blue is a must-have for muscle and joint health. Not only does it relieve pain and tension, but it's amazing oil and support the muscle and joint and bone healing. It alleviates back pain. When you have a nasty bruise, grab some of your Deep Blue to help stop it in its tracks. The stick has copaiba in it, and it's easy to apply without getting it on your hands compared to the lotion. Copaiba is another oil used for pain and inflammation. It's a super anti-inflammatory. You can layer this with another oil. It increases the effectiveness when you do that. When you really need a boost of pain relief, this is what you're going to use with your Deep Blue. So add it with your Deep Blue is great for it. If you ever suffer from any emotional strain, such as anxiety or depression, this can calm and soothe. It supports all major body systems, the heart, the nerves, respiratory, immune, and skin. And it can be really helpful for ADHD or ADD, and it's a CBD replacement. Oh, great products. So we're gonna wrap up our oil section with oils to support your mood and emotional support. For those of you who indicated at the beginning that you or someone in your family deals with heightened emotions or lows, these are great options to consider. So again, one of my favorites would be Serenity. Serenity is calming and it's helpful for sleep. May help you fall asleep more easily and sleep more deeply. So many people swear by it. I've heard many testimonies about that. Also helpful for anxiety and stress. I will put Serenity in my diffuser every night to help me for just that. And I've noticed a difference when I don't. A night that I don't put it in there, it's a little harder to sleep and rest, but when I do add it, it's amazing the difference. So we have learned some powerful things about pure essential oils just now. This is truly the tip of the iceberg when it comes to support your physical and emotional health. So now I'm passing the baton off and I don't remember. I'm sorry, but there you go.
I think it's back to me, Michael.
Okay.
Thank you. That was great. Thanks a lot. Okay. I'm going to jump in now. That kind of wraps up the part of our natural supplements and the essential oils. But I just wanted to take a minute and share with you guys that I was never going to do this as a business. And in fact, I had a friend and she was visiting. Now I live 70 miles from the nearest town. So she was visiting and started not feeling well. So I was sharing essential oils with her to help her out and stuff because it wasn't a quick trip to town, right? And she was like, oh my gosh, I love that. How do I get it? And I kind of went, I don't know. So after that, I thought, this is something that really needs to be shared with our family and friends because they are so effective. And I learned then how to help other people and to share with them. And that started my journey into doTERRA as a business. Now I can make a difference and change people's lives. I can help them with their health, their emotions, and financially. I get to work whenever I want, right? I can set it up around my daily schedule of doing ranch work. And I've made a ton of new friends from everywhere. All around the globe, people I never would have met. And a lot of those people are right here on this call tonight. So doTERRA really has truly changed my life. And so if any of this sparks something in you, talk to your wellness advocate, the person who invited you here, and they will get you some details about our financial wellness workshop that's coming up next week. Okay, let's talk about that keychain that Michael kept holding up. I have one. I think everybody probably has one that does doTERRA now. I take this with me. It hooks on my purse. It goes everywhere my purse goes. And I love having all these oils available to me whenever I need them to put in my water or to address some head tension or whatever might be going on. Now, we host this workshop every Monday night, right? Every week. But if you've thought of your own friends or family who might enjoy a workshop geared specifically to them, then you will get this cool keychain as a gift when you host. So when you schedule that workshop, you're going to get the keychain. This is the only way to get it for free, you guys. And then you can invite your friends and, you could have it on Zoom with your wellness advocate. And the ideal workshop size is about 5 people. So that's really doable, right? It's pretty easy to find 5 family members or friends who would want to jump on a Zoom and learn about all of this really awesome stuff. So you'll get 5 oils for hosting. And then for every guest that you have that shows up to 5, you will get an additional free oil in your keychain. So let your wellness advocate know if you want one. And it really brings us joy to help people discover about doTERRA. So don't hesitate to set one up for your family. All right, so it's almost time for our giveaway and wrapping up tonight's workshop. So we're super, super glad that you're here tonight. But we do have one favor to ask. And in the chat, you're going to find a link to a Google form. And you can use the QR code on that screen. And your answers are going to really, really help your wellness advocate to serve you. So please click on that link or do the QR code and fill out that survey for your wellness advocate. It's really going to help them to help you. So we'll give you a couple of minutes to fill that out. I'm not seeing the link yet. Are we getting the link in there? Well,
I got it in there, Candace. Can anybody not see it?
I can't see it, Julie.
It's
not
there.
Or you can screenshot that QR code.
I see it.
Do you see it? I'm not seeing it. I don't know what's going on with my chat. Okay, gotcha. There it is. So if you would fill that out, that would be really, really helpful. So we love to support people on their journey. We've told you that. And so that's how they're going to help you, is by having the information in that form.
So while everybody is filling out the form, I just have to put my 2 cents in, telling a funny story. So I was doing an event in Omaha, Nebraska at one point with my sister, Julie Staub, and somebody needed some samples of oils. And I grabbed Julie's purse, I grabbed her keychain, and I gave it away. And Julie goes, "That's mine." And I said, "It's okay, we'll replace it." So they're fun to have hooked to your backpack, your purse.
Yep, they come in incredibly handy. I use mine all the time.
You just don't want to have it hooked to your purse when Bobby's around, because she's going to give it away.
Right? I'll remember that. Okay, it's giveaway time, you guys. So I know you've all been anxiously awaiting the giveaway time. So watch, whoever the winner is going to get 2 really great ebook resources, and you'll get that from your wellness advocate. So one is an ebook on Metapower, and the other one is Lifelong Vitality. And these ebooks are filled with the ins and outs of both of those products. And as we learned tonight, healing from the inside out is what a body can do when it's given the right tools. So we're really excited for you to have them both. So Bobby, are you ready?
I am. I am ready. So since I've not been on here teaching any of this class, but I've been like going back and forth, making sure I have everybody in the wheel, I just have to say, I am Bobby Ogle from Nevada, Missouri, and I am so glad to be here with you. And I have been using essential oils for about 11 years, and I absolutely love doTERRA, its products, its mission, the company, the owners. I've met every one of them. I've not had the opportunity to sit on the beach with them, but that would be my goal for next year. They just got back from a cruise, and I was 5 points away from winning that cruise. So yeah, next year I got it. And we will learn at Leadership in Nashville in a couple of weeks where the next trip is to. So I'm excited about that. So giveaway time. I've got everybody's name on the wheel. I'm going to shuffle it one more time. And are you ready for a drum roll? Here we go. And the winner tonight is Tony Marbin. Tony. So we are so glad that you got to join us tonight, Tony. Where are you from? I missed that.
Houston.
Houston, Texas. Okay, cool. I've never been there.
Go Astros.
All right. Well,
like
congratulations, Tony.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. So in this last hour, we have covered a ton of ground, and hopefully you've been encouraged to consider how doTERRA could be a powerful support for your health and wellness. So within the next 48 hours or so, your wellness advocate will reach out and continue the conversation with you. So they're going to answer any questions that you were writing down during this workshop, and they'll help you find solutions that match the health needs you indicated on the survey. So in case you missed that, we'll post the link again. As we said at the beginning, our heart is all about serving you well. So one last thing, you're not alone on this journey. Excuse me. You're going to have support from your wellness advocate and an invitation to our private Facebook group. And everyone is invited to the Tuesday night continuing education classes. That's the QR code. You might want to put that back on the screen, Julie, with the QR code for continuing ed. So that's on Tuesday nights, same time, same Zoom room. And you're invited to join us there too. So thanks so much for coming to our workshop. We're so excited to have you all. And have a very just wonderful evening, everyone. Good night.